Hi, my name is Lily Wig, and I am an entrepreneur and a mom. I'm an entrepreneur mom, and I also am a biotech trader. I've been trading biotech stocks for the past about 10 years. I'm going to be speaking in Vietnamese. Em tên là Lily Nguyễn. Em là mẹ, em là người kinh doanh, và also em là biotech trader. Em mua mua bán thuốc stock, mua bán những cái công ty mà làm về thuốc men. So anyway, usually em sẽ làm một cái video mỗi năm or lại một cái post mỗi năm về một cái stock hay stock, just a fun little stock tip. But hôm nay em sẽ làm more about investment strategy and feel like I really like to talk about investment strategy with the public. So usually, today I received my shareholders report, and this is for an ETF. I usually use an ETF as my long-term play. Like ETFs are something that I keep for a very, very long time. Like I've been keeping the same ETF for the past 10 years. And I just want to prefix this. You have such a good varieties even in ETF. So if you look, khi nào mình mua ETF thì mình nên mở cái portfolio của nó ra, cho nên mình thấy những cái gì mà mình thích đó, mình có thể really pick, tại vì có những cái iShare nó very diverse, and sometimes you get exactly what you want all in one ETF. So you really look into the portfolio. Đừng có những cái ETF đó, oh, I'm going to buy that sector, and then you buy it. That's not a good way to invest. Like, I want to show you that in my biotech shares, let me show you. I'm going to run down exactly what is in my portfolio for my ETF. ETF là nó là một cái holding mà nó có rất là nhiều công ty ở trong trọng, thì mình mua vào cái đó, versus những cái mà straight up common stock play là mình mua một công ty thôi. Cái này làm khi nào mà em làm ETF á, là mua rất là nhiều công ty, hay là nhất là nhiều cái sector, để cho cái portfolio của mình rất là diverse. And em muốn nói một cái này nè, mỗi lần mà em có bị in trouble và nếu mà em invest nhiều quá cho một công ty mà nó không có do well á, ETF của em lúc nào cũng cứu em hết trơn á. Trong 10 năm nay á, em nhiều khi em make mistakes. Of course, every investor when you're new, bây giờ là ít hơn, nhưng mà when you're new, you're going to be making mistakes. So please buy into the ETF to save yourself. Whenever you make a mistake, at least you'll have the money from the ETF, because ETFs are much more diversified and you're taking much less risk. So let me show you. Okay, so in my ETF, I invested heavily in financials, and remember I said financial and biotechs, and this was I started at about 9 years ago. So financial was a big play while the economy was recovering. And then I also did a lot, of course, majority of it's biotech. I invest in biotech. I do two kinds of plays. Em làm hai cái loại. Một cái biotech mà nó làm long term của em, là những cái long term của em là những cái công ty lớn. Okay. Em mua những cái công ty lớn để nó mua mấy công ty nhỏ là em thích. So let me give you an example. Pfizer and Procter & Gamble and Abbott Pharmaceuticals. I love those companies because they have enough money or capital to buy these small tech startups. I'll give you an example. Arena Pharmaceutical. Their evaluation is still at the time I started investing in them, they were only trading at $9. I bought my first share of Arena Pharmaceutical at $9.34, something like that. Of course now it's a much different evaluation. It's up, but like, I don't know, last time I looked it was $84. So with biotechs, I like to buy the stock itself when it's a smaller capital or a smaller market capital. But when it gets to a really large number, I normally just buy it through an ETF, because the reason why is because you're not going to get enough or enough play from it. Khi này cái giá của nó đổi không có nhiều lắm, cái up and down của nó không có nhiều. So em usually make cái stock mà nó không có move nhiều. When I'm talking about big movements, I'm talking about you can triple your investment. Those are big movements, like Arena Pharmaceuticals, all these, like if you bought BioMarine when it first started, you're gonna get a big upstart. There's Gilead, there's Vertex. Những cái công ty đó nó có movement của nó rất là nhiều, bởi mình sẽ lời rất là nhiều, nhưng mà cái nguy hiểm cũng rất là nhiều. So I want to say it's very dangerous, but not as dangerous, không có dangerous bằng những cái penny stock. Như là quý vị mua những cái stock mà nó dưới 5 đồng á, là cái risk của nó rất là cao. So that's why I want to mitigate my risk by buying a stock. For me, mỗi một cái investor họ sẽ có những cái strategy riêng của họ. Với em thì khi nào mà em dùng những cái stock như là financials or financial banking, telecommunication, thì I would use Fibonacci math. But when it comes to biotech, I throw all that out. I look at the data. I look at what's in their pipeline. Họ đã có thuốc gì, what's coming out, what does the data say? Because every trial that gets published, it's made available to shareholders. You can look at the data itself to see, is this a good drug that they're making, or is it effective? And you can see it before it hits the market at each of their trials. And that's why I love doing the biotech play when it comes to buying the shares. And then I also like to do a biotech play when it comes to options. Options for me, like I would buy the once it gets into a certain evaluation, like, when it hits like $24 a stock, I actually buy the stock, because I know that this company is going to be up and running, and my investment won't be worth zero. Their biotech stock is when you buy the wrong biotech stock, it could be worth zero very, very, very quickly. So it could be $80 and then zero the next day because something happened. But you don't want to buy those companies. You want to buy a company that has a lot in their pipeline. Họ có rất là nhiều đủ thứ cái thuốc, đủ thứ cái they're doing different things, so that họ không not all your eggs in one basket. Em nhớ in the 1980s, there's a medication, or there's a weight loss medication called fen. It was like such a big hit, but then when we found out that it causes heart attack, and many people died from fen, I mean, the stock just went down to almost zero. So please really watch it. Just because something's doing really well does not mean that it could last, because you don't know the side effects of that. And that's the thing about biotech. But what I love about biotech is the volatility play. You won't be able to find another sector that would be best suited for options play better than biotech. But I don't use Fibonacci when doing biotech. I actually do the research. I look at their when trials data are going to be released. Those are the days where you want to be in an option. Chừng nào những cái data nó ra, giống như là những cái thuốc đó nó có phases. Mỗi lần nó thử thì nó sẽ có phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I always buy an option. I always buy options during the days where they're going to release data, because that's going to get my biggest volatility in the stock prices always happens during those days. And I also like to, not so much with earnings report. I love earnings report as well, but I think that for biotech, you're looking at those data phases, because that's where you make your money. I remember, when I first did a company called Sarepta, I bought some options at $9, that $9.34 that night, and the next day I woke up and it was at $24. It went up to $41, and then now eventually it's trading at $130. So you see, with biotech, you want to be in those days where they are having a lot of volatility, and that's why I don't use Fibonacci when I'm using biotech. So it's a little bit of I just want to talk a little bit about different investment strategies. And so anyway, we have that long-term investments are really good for ETFs. Okay, short-term investing, when we're talking about option trading, it's good for biotech, in my personal opinion. Okay, this is my personal opinion, because we're talking about the volatility. Okay, so I wanted to tell you, when you're buying a biotech, I don't want you to buy anything that's like less than $5, because those stocks are like called penny stocks, and they could go bust really quickly. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. What I did here, is, in terms of how I use ETF to shore up my other investment. Whenever I make an investment, I do a lot of research on it, and as a person, I guess everyone has their own personality. Mỗi người có cái tánh riêng, and em khi nào mà em invest in cái gì đó thì em will give it all of, like em sẽ mua những cái stock mà nó will support it. Or nó sẽ vô một, nó không có chọi nó, em không có mua trong cái portfolio, không có cái stock nào mà chọi the other. Nó usually nó go along with it, and nó sẽ giúp nhau. So em muốn mua Pfizer, tại em muốn Pfizer để mua, em muốn Pfizer lúc trước em muốn Pfizer mua Arena Pharmaceutical, em rất là muốn Pfizer mua Arena Pharmaceutical, tại vì nó bị hụt mất lần rồi đó. Lúc trước em cũng muốn nó mua Gilead, nhưng mà bây giờ Gilead quá trời mắc tiền rồi, không thể nào mà mua được. Lúc đó Arena còn rẻ tiền, em nói tại sao nó không có mua Arena, tại vì nó có một cái weight loss drug, nó work giống như fen nhưng mà nó không có cái side effect của fen. It should be a blockbuster drug. But nó không có mua, so they lost their chance of buying it. I guess it's still, they lost their chance of buying it. But anyway, when I first started 9 years ago, I bought Pfizer's because I'm hoping Pfizer's or Abbott Pharmaceutical will buy, or Procter. I buy these big tech stuff, big biotech, so they could buy, but they will in turn buy the smaller biotech. So I win in both sides. I buy the company, and I also buy the stock that I think that in the future could be able to afford to buy the companies that I'm going to buy. I do a lot of these plays. I invest in a company that I think has an easy chance of buyout. I don't want to invest in a company that the evaluation is way too high, because those biotech stocks get really stuck because they're too expensive for you to buy or take over. So the only way they can drive up the stock prices is by actually doing really well in the market, and that's really hard. It's very, very difficult. But if you read the data, there are companies, Gilead has done it, Vertex has done it, so many biotechs has done it to be able to stand on their own and not having to depend on a buyout. But I know for you to get from there to here, it's a really hard thing to do. So I always do a backup. I would actually buy a stock. I'm always looking at their evaluation, like cái company cái evaluation, cái giá của cái giống như cái value của nó cao hơn là cái giá của nó ngay bây giờ, để cho một cái company lớn hơn nó sẽ mua cái company đó để em lời ngay luôn lúc đó luôn, em không cần đợi tới 10 năm 20 năm. So that's a play that I would like to play. So anyway, I invested in Pfizer. I'm not just saying that because the vaccine came out. I had no idea that 9 years ago I didn't invest for the vaccine. I invest because I wanted to buy these little Biomarine, all these little companies I hoped they would buy, but they didn't end up buying it. But anyway, I still profited from Pfizer. I still profited from Gilead and Vertex because they're just good, solid companies. And the way I do it is I actually look at the medication that they're working on. I really like the Hep C play because the Asian market is making more money. So they're going to be able to afford the medication to treat hepatitis. So I look at the sector. I see that it has potential growth, and then I buy the stock that's going to best be suitable for that environment. That's just a little thing that I do. So anyway, I'm going to do more stock tips on particular trades. I'll talk about Gilead, and I bought Gilead because I believe that AIDS treatment will work. And look at how far it's gone now. And I bought it 9 years ago when I started. So Gilead was something I really loved, and I'm just so thankful for the company because they treat AIDS patients, and you can buy stuff that you believe in, Another company that has nothing to do with biotech that I like is Under Armour. I just like their clothes. So you buy things that you actually like using, okay? Anyway, so this year I'm going to tell you about one stock that I'm selling, and one that I'm in a sector that I'm buying, and this is really surprising. I'm going to change things up this year. I'm selling my Facebook holdings because I'm very concerned about Facebook being able to handle security issues. We have the tampering of elections. We know that happened. And then we have, the fake news coming into Facebook. Facebook is so vulnerable to hacking. And then I think that what made me, really made the decision clear for me, since I've been a really, a supporter of Facebook. But what made me change my mind most is that they're under investigation. And then they're 2 weeks ago, there's news that they're, the government wants to force a breakup. And I think that Facebook needs Instagram for that for the evaluation they have right now. I mean, they're still cheap, but I still think that they really do need Instagram. And if they lost Instagram, that would be a big hit to the company. So that's why, unless Facebook shore up its security, and then I think there's something that needs to go on with they need to fix the algorithm so that it won't be as vulnerable to hacking and tampering. And then also I'm really worried about having the government is going to make them break up. And I feel that at this point, I really would like to take that money and put it into something else. I think that I bought it at IPO, which is $43. It went down to, keeps going down, and I bought another chunk at $19. And when it was at $19, everyone was telling me that it's going to go to $13. But at that point, I still believed in it. That's the thing. When you invest in something, you really have to believe in it in order for you to make money, or else you're going to sell at the wrong time. Don't ever use money that you need right away to buy stocks, because you're going to end up selling at the wrong time. And selling at the wrong time will always inevitably result in a loss. So, don't invest money that you actually need. Don't invest, and then really believe with all your heart whenever you're investing in something, because, there are going to be a lot of turmoils. But when you invest, really do a lot of research so that whenever you get this inkling to sell, or all these fear inklings, you're going to use that data that you say, hey, look, I did my research before I bought, and this is the reason why. And are those facts still holding truth? And if they're still holding true, you keep it. But if there's things changes, like things are changing with Facebook for me, these data that are coming up, when the data changes, I have the right to change my mind. Okay, and another sector that I'm buying that's very surprising for me is Bitcoins. I was always afraid of Bitcoins, but now that we're doing lots of e-commerce, and there, because of the coronavirus, has just really speed up what currency means to us and how we're going to use currency. And I think that's a question. It's a fundamental question of why I'm starting to invest in Bitcoins. Before, nobody could believe that this, coronavirus would last this long and have this tremendous effect on our economy. And this is going to be a long-term effect on how we work, how we live, and how we trade. So this is the reason why I'm investing in a new currency, which is Bitcoin. I think that is viable, and what is his name? Elon Musk is actually starting to invest in Bitcoin. So we had a big rally a week ago. So I'm waiting for a good time. I'm going to buy in some now, and then wait. If it gets lower, I will continue buying into it. Because once I make a decision, I really do follow through. And I think that when I was first trading, I was too scared, and I made a lot of mistakes, and because I sold at the wrong time. It wasn't the stocks you pick are rarely bad. It's just a bad timing. So so now I learned that I don't invest in stuff that, with money that I need right away. Oh, and then so I really do wait it out. I don't sell at the wrong time, and that's what really has helped me. And I do two kinds of play. I don't really ETF, I try not to look at the portfolio every day. I don't even do it. I do it maybe every couple of months because I know that that's like years, long term for me. I've kept the same ETF for 9 years, so it's really long. And then with short terms, I do look every month. Like when I'm talking about short terms, 3 years play. Okay, I stopped day trading because I realize that the fees I'm paying are way too high and the returns are not, like right now I'm making more money than ever in my holdings because I'm not trading. I'm actually holding. The market is made for you to invest in. But if you play this game where you're trying to play chicken with the market, you could end up losing. So that's all I have to say. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.